Yo, what's up? This is Gary A. Swaby, and you're now listening to the Co-op Podcast, episode 289. And unfortunately, Richard Bailey Jr. won't be here this week because, he has a wedding to attend, so he's doing a bit of traveling at the moment.
Yo,
But
what's
I
up?
am
This is
here with
Gary A. Swaby.
Mr. Edward Velasquez. How you doing, Ed?
What's good? What's good? I'm doing good. Um, for your listeners, I'm sorry, but this episode, consider it like a lost co-op episode.
A lost co-op episode. Why? Why?
Yeah,
Why is that?
like because it's just us two, and they're not used to this. But I'll take it easy on the PlayStation crowd today.
Alright, no, we'll be good, man. Like, people know that, schedules get in the way sometimes. People are doing things, so it's not always going to be a full cast, and it's not always going to be me or Rich on the show. So the listeners are cool, and Ed is cool too. Sometimes we disagree, sometimes we get into some fanboy debates, but the people like that, so they respect that. So it should be all good. Um, so before we get into what we've been up to and what we've been playing, I just want to let everyone know that we are officially on Spotify now. So if you do have Spotify and would like to listen to the audio version of the podcast, just go onto your Spotify app and search for the Coalition podcasts, and you'll see us pop up right away. And you'll be able to listen to the co-op podcast on there. Obviously, this is after we record live at some point. Usually, the audio drops the next day following or the next morning. So, yeah, if you want to listen to just the audio, then that option is now there for you. Um,
Make sure you use the promo code co-op for a month of free Spotify.
well, yeah, you can try that. I don't know. I'm not gonna confirm or deny that that works, but
It
you
doesn't.
can you can give it a try. But yeah, we are on Spotify, so that option is there now. Just wanted to let everyone know. Um, so yeah, let's get straight into what we've been doing. So I'm gonna hand it over to you, Edward. What have you been playing?
All right. So yesterday I had a wonderful night, a wonderful date night with my lady. Right.
Mm.
We did dinner, and then we went to go watch Us, the new Jordan Peele movie. It's a horror movie. Man, I was blown away.
Oh
I was
yeah.
blown away. I cannot stop thinking about this movie. It has like stayed with me. Um, it's just a very tense movie. I guess it's labeled under horror, which I guess it is a horror movie. But it's not typical like, oh, the killer is out to kill them. There's like more weird stuff. If you
Mm.
like Black Mirror or The Twilight Zone, go into this movie thinking it's a movie version of that. And I think it's great. Like, it's open for interpretation, but there's a clear plot, but they kind of leave it open for interpretation. You get a lot of people get different opinions and views on that movie, but it's a wonderful fucking movie. I think just it's a wonderful movie. That's all I want to say.
I'm hearing there's like a huge twist in the movie. Is that what like makes it powerful?
Uh, I wouldn't say it's the twist. It's just it was the ride for me. Like, the movie just really started, like, just the direction. I felt like I was in the movie, like, like I was along for the ride. Like, cuz it was tense, and it builds and it builds, and it's just kind of like I felt it like a roller coaster ride, in my opinion. I don't know. But it's
Mm.
really good. I would recommend going to watch this shit.
So it's way better than Get Out.
Yeah, I liked it better than Get Out.
Okay. And how
Yeah.
was I Got Five on it? Was it better in the movie than in that trailer?
It's pretty much all over the movie.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like, they use that song in the movie, but like, obviously in the trailer you just hear the song or whatever. but in the like they really worked that song into the movie, and I think it works well.
All right,
Like it's
yeah.
almost a part of the story, kind of.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting. Well, yeah, I definitely got to see that movie then. I'm hearing a lot of good things about it, so that's good to know.
yeah, man.
But
And then because that movie was so tense and so creepy and stuff like that, like I immediately came home afterwards, and I picked up the Division 2, and that those two like just went together just last night. Like I was gaming, I was in the zone, I was feeling it.
hmm
and and yeah, that game's like really good to me. Like I've been enjoying that game so much. Um like I like so many things about it. The world of the Division feels alive to me. Like it actually feels alive. Because I'm playing it with a co-op buddy. Like we don't play without each other. That's the way we're going through the Division 2. So I'm not too far ahead because it's kind of hard to schedule playing with somebody the entire game. Um, but
yeah,
yeah, man, like I'm enjoying that game so much. The world of Division feels alive, like I said, and I just like a lot of the hidden things, or not like hidden, but things you don't notice. Like yesterday when I picked up the game, it was nighttime and it was raining in game, and it just was like really cool just to see that. It's like it's a very dark game, like literally, like it's a dark setting. Um, but I think it works for that game sometimes. Um, and yeah, I just having fun with that game. Like I'm not bored with it.
yeah, man. So I mean, I've been playing the game too, and I agree with everything you said. Like, that there isn't like this is one of the best new games I've played in a while since Red Dead. Like, we were talking before the show. But yeah, it's very intense. I love the feel of the game. I love the looting in it. I pretty much love everything about this game besides there's a few technical hiccups here and there on PC version because it's optimized for AMD and I have Nvidia. So there are a few hiccups here and there, but I've managed to play with the settings to make it run smoother, so it's not that bad. But yeah, the game is amazing, especially if you are playing with people. And yeah, it definitely gets intense. If you're playing solo, you're gonna get stuck a few times. And this is the type of game where you have to get used to dying because it's going to happen. And it's all about how you fix your mistakes and um, you know, basically beat it the second time around. Whatever objective or mission you're doing and everything. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel frustrating at any point. Like when I die, I feel like it's because of something I did, and I'm eager to correct it the next go around. And sometimes I even just like jumping into other people's sessions or people calling for help and stuff. Like it's just like every firefight is just it's got like a unique and intense feel to it, and I love RPGs. I love grinding, so I'm just finding it very addictive. Like, just going firefight to firefight and then finding new loot, leveling up my character, developing the character and everything, and testing out new abilities. Like, it just goes together so well. It's everything that Anthem was trying to be, but they just didn't quite nail it. And this game definitely nailed it.
That's what
So,
she said. Um,
what?
I hey did you buy the
You crazy.
Division 2 collectors or whatever it is?
No, I bought the standard version
Alright, so you bought the collectors for
for Anthem,
for
yeah.
Anthem, but not for the Division 2. Was that a mistake?
Oh yeah, it was a mistake for real, but you live and you learn, and you know, It's all good
It's
at the end of the
alright,
day.
man. It's alright.
But the extra, did you get the collector's edition or whatever, or the gold
Nah, I
edition?
didn't.
Okay, because I don't even know what the bonuses are. I
It
do.
didn't. I looked into it, but I didn't think it was worth it. I might be wrong, but I think I saw that it was just you get the like any of the content that they start making, you get it like 7 days early for like But I
Oh,
mean, it's free either way, so I don't understand like
yeah,
what
because I
the
think
worth
I think that
is.
that was part of my logic when I made the decision to get the standard, because it seemed to me like, okay, you just get to play earlier, and yeah, I don't really see much benefit, you know. And in these types of games, when you get like, say they give you like some exclusive backpack or gun or something like that, you're only gonna be using that for a short amount of time anyway. So usually I don't see that stuff as beneficial because this is the type of game where you're always like switching to a new loadout or a new gun or something. So yeah, I didn't feel all that stuff was worth the extra cost. I feel like I've got more than my money's worth, you know, already, so I'm happy.
Cool.
But yeah, man, Division 2, if you haven't got it yet, I highly suggest you guys get it, man. Like, this is starting to feel like Destiny 1 again to me, honestly. And I'm hearing, you know, the Dark Zone is good, and I hear that the end game is good too, so sounds good to me. Did you play the first Division, by the way?
Yeah, I did. I did.
And what did you think of that game?
I thought it was cool. I felt like once I completed the game, I was done with it though.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how that works. But from what I'm getting right now, it seems like that game's packed full of content. For me, at least, like I can see myself spending 40 to 50 hours before it's like, okay, there's nothing else.
yeah. Did you play any conflict mode yet, or whatever it is? The
No, not at all.
Okay, yeah, because I'm hearing that might be like one of the weak points about the game, because people are saying that you know, people are super OP, like overpowered,
Yeah.
because they got all the abilities and stuff like that. So some people are saying it's not worth the headache of playing that mode. Did you go into the dark zone yet?
No, I haven't done a lot of shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what the dark zone's gonna be like, because I hear you can get some pretty good loot from there.
Yeah, I'm still doing like story stuff. I mean, I've done a lot of side stuff, but it's usually I'm wandering around doing missions, side missions,
Yeah,
some control points, but I haven't touched any of the PvP stuff, dark zone stuff. I haven't touched none of that.
cool. Yeah, so you've been playing anything else?
Uh, no, not really. Just that.
Alright. Um, so I've also been playing Overwatch, of course, and the new hero was released, Batiste or Baptiste, as some people are calling him. Um, he seems pretty good. The only thing is he's got this ability called Immortality Field, which might be annoying to play against if you know, unless you have a Baptiste in your own team. So yeah, but so far so good. And Blizzard is doing an excellent job to kind of boost some characters that have been less popular in the meta currently. So that's pretty good overall. But I'm sure people are tired of hearing me talk about Overwatch, so I'm gonna get off that now. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. So yeah, let's dive straight into this week's topics then. So the first thing I'm going to start with here is a few things about the Epic Game Store, because you know, it seems like the Epic Game Store is really taking over. You know, first it was Fortnite, now you know they built their own store, and ever since it's like, wow, they're taking away a lot of market share from Steam. So it was revealed earlier this week that Metro Exodus sold better on the Epic Game Store than the previous game sold on Steam altogether, which is insane because if you have Steam on PC, you know how much those first two Metro games were promoted on Steam, and they were pretty popular within the PC gaming community as well. So to hear that Metro Exodus has outsold the sales of the previous Metro on Steam is pretty insane to hear, especially because the Epic Game Store is new. Now, I believe Fortnite has a huge part of this because so many people were playing Fortnite that they just had to have the Epic Game Store anyway. So it's a convenience thing, you know. You already have this client on your computer. You might as well just, you know, buy games in that client because you're already using it. And as a Steam owner myself, I have to confess, like, I haven't been using Steam as much as I used to. Like, some days like most days actually, I don't even open the Steam client anymore because the games I'm playing are on other services now. Like Division 2, I have it on Uplay. You know, Anthem and Apex Legends, I have that on Origin. Overwatch is on the Blizzard client, you know, so I haven't even opened Steam in a long time. Every now and then, I get an email to tell me that certain games are on sale, and then I might load up Steam then just to check out, you know, the prices and things like that. But yeah, it seems like the age of Steam might be slowing down a little bit because one of the biggest appeals of Steam was obviously the sales that they had and stuff, and the benefits of cheaper games when compared to consoles and things like that. But all these other publishers having their own clients is starting to really take away market share from Steam, and I think Valve has to do something major to retain their audience. And Ed also brought up something else. The fact that the new game Outer Worlds by Obsidian, that is now going to be exclusive to the Epic Games Store as well. So that's another big game that's going to be exclusive to the Epic Games Store on PC. So, you know, Steam, Valve, they're in a bit of hot water at the moment. But Ed, I know you're not a PC gamer, but do you have like any thoughts at all on this?
Like I just want to know, like, what is the? Because you are a PC gamer. I want to know, like, what is the? I know why I wouldn't like it, but to you, do you have a problem with this? Like,
Um, well, I mean, I could see how other PC gamers would have an issue with it if
well,
they're,
can you explain that? Like, because I don't understand what the issue would be. Like,
yeah,
because a PC gamer, you're kind of, I would assume that you're used to buying games from different areas. Like, oh, I got to buy this game from EA, or hey, I got to buy this one on Uplay. I got to buy this one on Steam, and so I've never been. I don't have that experience with PC. Like, I buy everything on Xbox, and
yeah.
I get my stuff from Xbox. And I think that to me, that's a benefit. I mean, that could go either way. Like, I'm not making no fanboy shit. Like PlayStation, you buy all your shit from the PS Store. I think that's a benefit to me. Like whether it was Steam or Epic Store, that's our like or like it's not introducing a new problem because PC gamers have always dealt with this. Is what I'm getting at. So I want to know like what's the problem with it now? Like I don't get it.
So like me personally, I don't have a problem with it because I'm already playing, like I'm already using a lot of other clients, and I pretty much have for a long time. But you know, let's use Carl, like our friend Carl, as our example here. So Carl, you know, he kind of exclusively only uses Steam on PC to manage his games. Like he only buys games if they're on Steam because it's a convenience thing. Like Steam is the go-to app for PC gaming, and you know you have your friends list, you have achievements, you have launcher like to launch your games and everything. You have sales, like everything is in that one client, and that's all a lot of people have known for like the past 10 years when it comes to PC gaming. Probably more than 10 years now. So yeah, like the fact that now things are starting to go exclusively elsewhere, and these are pretty popular and big IPs, that is causing some some unhappiness, with gamers who have, kind of just always stuck with Steam. And when you factor in Metro Exodus, like those first two Metro games were heavily promoted on Steam. They were very popular on Steam. So imagine owning the first two Metro games in Steam, and then you can't even buy the third game in Steam for like a whole year basically until it comes to Steam. So I guess a lot of people are a bit antsy about that because they, for OCD purposes, they might want everything in that one app, but now they're forced to use a different app. Even if they probably don't play Fortnite. So that's really what it's about, basically.
Sounds to me like PC gamers are like weirdos.
Nah,
Like, who cares? Y'all, like, PC gamers should be used to buying games from a variety of clients. Like, one more, okay, whoop de doo. If you don't like it, get on the console.
yeah, like okay. So for you, let's build an example here. So you love Halo, right? What if Microsoft just out of the blue said, okay, to get the next Halo, to get Halo Infinite, now you have to, buy it from you can't get it on your Xbox One. You have to like get it on this other completely different system. Like, wouldn't you be pissed?
That's. I don't think that works. I don't think this little analogy works because, like, that would never happen.
I know it wouldn't. Okay, let's say
I
this.
can't even imagine if it, like, it's hard. You made it hard. Like,
L-
picture give me a better one.
I'll give you a better one because
All right.
in that scenario, just I just said you would probably have to buy new hardware, and that's not the case for PC gamers. So let me give you a different analogy. Let's
All right.
say Microsoft says, okay, Halo Infinite is coming out next month, but if you have an Xbox One, you won't be able to play it for another 5 months because the game is only going to be available on Game Pass to PC users or something. Like, what would your reaction be to that?
But see, that one doesn't work either because because in the PC story, the actual story, like you can still play on that console. We'll just refer to a PC as a console. Whereas in the scenario you painted, I can't play that on the console that I have. So see, like it doesn't like translate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it's a really PC thing. It's PC politics
Yeah,
basically. But
PC is like weird people, man.
well, like I said though, like I don't have an issue with it because I've always kind of done that. Like since I built my PC, I've used different clients because I was playing MMOs and I was playing Diablo, so I always had other things in addition to Steam anyway.
That's one.
So
That's one of the reasons I don't want to ever do PC.
why? Because of the different clients.
Yeah, I'm just not into that. I like a little like just give me an Xbox and I want to own everything on Xbox and just that's all I need. Like I don't want to deal with all these clients and this and that. Like I'm not even into computers like that. So
Yeah, I mean it's not like complicated or anything. It's just basically
I just don't
download.
want to download a bunch of stuff. And I'm not into that stuff. That's why the second they introduced streaming music, I was like, okay, I'm in. Here, take my money. I was done with downloading music and
Okay,
rapid share and all
that's
this crap.
the music thing is a perfect example. So like you had, let's say you're subscribing to Spotify, right?
And the
And
new
you're
Kanye's on Apple Music. Is that
yeah,
what you're gonna say?
exactly.
Okay, okay.
So like, are you going to be pissed at that point?
I would be upset. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, there you go then. That's what PC gamers are going through.
Mm, I guess.
but yeah, that's pretty much it for that story. I mean, Epic Game Store, it seems like they're ready to take away market share. They're ready to become that number one gaming app, and it seems to me like this is going to be the future of PC gaming, where publishers all have their own kind of store and everything, and it's all about who they do deals with to build their libraries, I guess. I have to say that EA Origin is probably my least favorite of them all. Um, because it's really just a place. I mean, they do have other publishers on there, but I have a very love-hate relationship with EA at the moment anyway. So I'm not a huge fan of their games right now. I really only use Origin to play old games like the old Mass Effect games and Dragon Age and stuff. Of course, I did play Anthem briefly, but yeah. What I like about the Uplay store though is that you can, as you play games on their client, you unlock points that you can actually use to get discounts when you buy games. So like with the Division 2, I actually got a discount because I bought like Assassin's Creed games before on the client. So I think that's a pretty good way to do it to incentivize people to use your platform. But yeah, this is what the future is going to be. Publishers having their own services. But let's move on to the next topic though. Oh, actually, this ties in as well. And this raises a new question as well. It's too bad we don't have Carl here or someone else, but Quantic Dreams is actually going to start publishing their games on the Epic Game Store because there was that news that came out that they were I think they were bought, right, or something by another company, and now they're going third party. So all the Quantic Dreams games are going to be third party moving forward. A lot of people were upset that Sony didn't, buy them or do an official deal with them and stuff like that. But yeah, the Quantic Dreams library is coming to the Epic Game Store, so they're gonna be on PC, and I'm pretty sure in the future you might see their games on Xbox too. So, how do you feel about that, Ed?
I can't wait to put. I can't wait to push the space bar. Uh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see the space bar show up in game. Like push this. What is a quick time event with a big ass space bar? That'll
Hey,
be cool.
that's how I play the Telltale games. I play
Oh shit.
keyboard and mouse, man.
Oh man. But nah, I can see why Quantic Dream put out their games on the Epic Store, or just PC in general.
Yeah, but PC.
Uh, but yeah, I can see why they did that. I mean, their games don't sell that much, so might,
This guy.
you might as well open it to a bigger audience.
So how do you feel about them going third party? Like, have you ever had a desire to play Heavy Rain and
I
Beyond?
actually have. I've always wanted to play Heavy Rain. I've played the one with Ellen Page. That's Beyond
Yeah,
Souls, or what's it called?
yeah, Beyond Two Souls or something like that.
Yeah. I played some of that. I don't think I ever beat it. It it kind of lost me. Like it wasn't that interesting to me. But
That
Heavy Rain uh is more my cup of tea because it's like investigative, and I like a good like a murder mystery type deal. What were you gonna say?
that game Beyond came out at a really bad time because it came out on the PS3 just as the PS4 and the Xbox One were coming out. So
Yeah, I think I remember that. But yeah, that's the only one I played. I have not played Detroit. Did they have any other one? That's it, right?
yeah, Detroit,
Those three.
Beyond, and Heavy Rain. I
Yeah,
think we might be missing something, but I can't remember. But
yeah,
yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
that's it.
But yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't play PC, so that doesn't change anything for me. But I
But
guess it's
if
cool
they
to
came
have
to
those
Xbox
games.
though, would you buy them like day one?
I don't know about day one. I'd probably wait for like to get them for cheap.
Right.
Not like as a diss or nothing. Like I just really don't buy games day one anymore unless I really want them. But I would definitely like check those games out if they came out on Xbox.
Do you feel like Sony are dumb for not buying Quantic Dream?
Are they? They didn't buy them.
No.
Um, yeah, I think they're a studio worth having. Um, maybe Sony didn't want them because they're so like kind of one dimensional. Maybe that would be like a knock on them. They're kind of like a higher quality Telltale.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that plays into it. But I mean, Sony's always going after former Xbox studios like to work with. So I'm not saying to like own them, but maybe Xbox should, reach out to them, be like, hey, in your next game, I mean, still make it multi-platform, but your next game, like, promote it with us. Because you see Remedy, like anything that we've seen from Control, that one game by Remedy,
Hmm.
it's always on PlayStation.
Yeah. I mean, hey, E3 is not that far away now, so do you think there's a possibility we could see Quantic Dream show up at the Xbox conference?
I don't think it's likely, but it's possible, I guess.
I think it
I
might
would
happen.
do it.
I think it will happen.
Show off some tech on the new whatever, because that's what their usual mo is. They always show tech first.
Okay, someone in the chat is looks like they're disagreeing. He's saying Sony is going after former Xbox studios. What? Um, I mean, I think it's a tactic on both sides. I think both companies kind of do this. Like,
I
if
didn't. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, like say a third party studio or whatever that used to make games exclusively for one console, then goes third party. I think this is a tactic we always see, like Insomniac. Like, we knew them for working with closely with Sony for years, and then all of a sudden they come out with what was that game called?
Sunset Overdrive.
Exactly, yeah. So I think this is just something that happens. It's business. Like, I think if, a studio starts to go third party, then immediately the rival console manufacturer is going to approach that company and be like, yo, promote your game with us. And, it's going to be seen as a huge win for them in the eyes of gamers, to announce something like that at E3. So I think this is something both companies do.
Yeah, I didn't mean that as a slight at all. Like I was just referencing to like that's the first thing that came to mind. Like Remedy with Control, PlayStation's done it with Destiny when they with Bungie. Like it's a tactic that everybody uses. Xbox did it with Metal Gear. Like
Yeah,
hey, we'll show it on our console. But yeah, that's what I mean by that.
yeah. So yeah, that clears that up, I guess. So, did you have anything else to say on this topic, or should we move on?
Nah.
All right, so let's get to Ed's favorite topic. This has been his favorite topic since like 2010 or something like that. Like he loves talking MPDs. So
Oh
we're
man,
gonna
it's
talk
trash.
we're gonna talk NPDs for February 2019, and this is very interesting. So I'm gonna go from number 10 down to number one for the software. So number 10 was Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Number 9 was NBA 2K19. Number 8 was Metro Exodus. Number 7 was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 6 was Resident Evil 2 2019. Number 5 was Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 4 was Far Cry New Dawn. Number 3 was Kingdom Hearts 3. Number 2 was Jump Force. And number 1 was Anthem. So yeah, that's the top 10 MPD sales for February 2019. Now, Ed, are you surprised about anything on that list?
There was Crackdown in there.
Crackdown was not in the top 10.
All right. Uh,
Nope, it's nowhere on this list actually. I'm sorry to say. It's not even in the top 20.
oh, oh man. I just
It's looking bad for Microsoft right
nah.
now.
Like the fact that Anthem made it though, like man, whoever bought Anthem, y'all some fools, man. Y'all need to give up the hope on BioWare. Just stop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of did buy it out of loyalty for BioWare because I wanna see them go back to their former glory, man. So that was part of the reason I bought that game like so ahead of time because I just wanted it to be good. But yeah, I'm surprised, to see Anthem so far up. I'm actually
Nah, I mean, I figured it was the biggest release of the month, regardless of whether I was sold on it leading up to it. But I felt like it was big enough game to make it to number one. I thought
it got so much bad press though, so that's what made me think, okay, it might not get number one, but
it did, but I would think that Bioware has that cult following. It's kind of I think it's going down a little bit, but still, I guess people give them too much respect, and they just buy their games on a whim.
I guess so. Um, I am very surprised that Jump Force made it to number two though. Like, I know there's a lot of fellow weebs out there like me, who love these Japanese style games, but I didn't think this game was gonna be that popular to make it to number two. And I heard a lot of bad things about it when it actually did release. So I thought, that would have kind of cut the sales a little bit, but hey, good to see it there, I guess. There's hope for us weebs out there. So that's good. Um, I didn't hear much about Far Cry New Dawn. I don't know if people liked it or not, but I guess, makes sense that that's in the top five. Kingdom Hearts 3 seems to be selling really well, so, that's good. It's still in the top three. Everything else on this list seems, pretty common. Um, Nothing major stands out. And as far as hardware, the Nintendo Switch was the best-selling console of February. So yeah,
I like to think of the Switch as a toy.
it, really.
Yeah, it's trash.
So you don't consider it like a proper gaming system? Like,
Nah, it's a kid's toy.
do you own a Switch?
I personally don't, but there's one available to me.
Oh, and you play it often?
I played it like twice.
So you're not a fan of the Switch?
Not at all. I hate it.
I thought you were a Nintendo guy, like, or was that just growing up? Like,
It was growing up like 64 and SNES, a little bit of GameCube. But they lost me with the Wii, and then ever since then, I just have not. I was out of love with Nintendo.
hmm,
Like, yeah, they sell you cardboard for fuck's sake.
yeah,
They're selling cardboard.
yeah,
Nah, bro. I'm
they're
good.
crazy with that.
I'm
But yeah, I
good.
mean, I think conceptually the Switch is a great system. Like, I love the design and what it can do and everything. My issue with it and why I haven't jumped in yet is it gets a lot of third party games, but it gets them late and they're lesser quality versions than, what we get on other systems. So it's like, why should I be excited about that? Now I understand there's the whole appeal of taking your games with you, and I can understand that, playing Fortnite on the bus or whatever. Um, you know, playing some of these other AAA games on the go. But I don't know, man. Like it's just that's not really a huge appeal for me personally. Um, but whatever floats your boat to
I don't
people who
see
enjoy that.
when like people would even play these games on the go. Like I know I said maybe like 2 weeks ago, a week ago about the X Cloud thing. I think it's cool, but it's not ideal. Like I personally, I don't have time to be playing that shit like on the go. Like I don't ride trains, I don't ride buses. That's not the life I live in the city of Houston. Like or in traffic or driving on a highway. Like we don't have time for Switch.
Yeah, yeah, and like shouts to Christopher Hart. He pointed out that yeah, Cuphead and Castle Crashers are coming to the Switch as well. So that's cool for people
And
who
that's my problem with Nintendo.
to
And like maybe I follow one too many Nintendo geeks on Twitter or something. But anytime I see people excited for like Cuphead on Switch or Castle Crashers on Switch, I'm like, why? I just don't get it. Castle Crashers is a 10-year-old game.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool for the people who have the Switch and might not have an Xbox or something, but that for me it's not an appeal like getting games later than everyone else like um
But even if like I want to know a person who only plays Switch.
oh, they're
Like
out
I
there.
want to
That
know the person. Not and not, I don't mean like only play Switch. I mean that's the only console in their house. Like I want to meet that person because
mm,
that person as a gamer should be unsatisfied.
like you said, you could probably refer to the Switch as a toy because I'm pretty sure there are children who only have a Switch, like because maybe that's the only system their parents would buy for them. So I think that would be the only household, that has only a Switch is the young children who perhaps can't buy their own consoles. So that's probably what it
Yeah,
is.
probably.
But every experienced, like seasoned gamer is gonna have more than a Switch. The Switch is something you get in addition to another console or your PC or whatever. So yeah. Um, for me, I mean, the only game like there's some JRPGs on the system that look cool to me that I would probably play, but the only game that would make me want to cop it is Pokemon, and the last one that came out, I have no interest to be honest. This new one, maybe they'll manage to sell me on the system, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But as of now, I have like zero interest in buying a Switch because like I'm not into getting old games, and even like the exclusives just don't appeal to me. Like, and I'm sure you feel the same way, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What about Zelda Breath of the Wilds? Because I hear great things about that game.
Man, I just really haven't been into like I just like I grew up. I grew up.
So is Zelda not a grown-up game?
Um, it's more for children. Come on.
Even Breath of the Wilds, because people say that game is more mature than the rest.
I haven't really paid too much attention to it to be honest, but I'm just like as far as Nintendo, like that's what I can say. I grew up.
Well, there you have it.
It's like, man, you know, there's weirdos out there who watch like My Little Pony and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, that's how I feel about like men who play Nintendo. It's like
Well,
you're grown up. Like, get a girlfriend. Like, bro, you know how my girlfriend would look at me if she saw me playing like Mario? Like I'm a freaking 29-year-old man playing Mario in my living room. Like I come on, man.
This guy. Yeah, I feel you though. I feel you. Um, yeah, but I mean, I guess if you have like a family, it's different. Like if you had children and
If I
stuff.
had
You,
children, I probably would get Mario
yeah.
and get Mario Kart and stuff like that. Yes. But for now, I don't have children, so that's not. You know what? I'll tell you this. I have not watched a Pixar movie since my teenage years. I have
Really?
not checked out any of them. The last one I saw was Toy Story 3 but that's because I was already invested in the Toy Story story. But I have not seen Brave. I have not seen any of the Pixar movies in the last 10 years. I haven't watched because I grew up. I'm not interested in that no more. I don't want to watch cartoons. I'm not into anime. To me, if you're an adult and you watch anime, there's something wrong with you.
Look, now I'm a
That's
weeb.
just my opinion.
I'm a weeb, so like there are mature animes, so that's different in my eyes. But I can agree with the Pixar thing because I don't really fuss over the Pixar movies at all. I think the last one I probably watched was Toy Story also. And like this isn't Pixar, but I watched Frozen. And that was because like I was with someone who had a child, so I pretty much watched that all the time. So yeah, like I'm with you on that. But yeah, with anime, like there are mature animes, like they have a lot of mature themes and stuff. So
It's called hentai. Oh man, your listeners hate me, man.
Okay, so how about like you liked the Spider-Man movie, right? Because that's animated and a lot of grown people like that.
Damn, you fucking got me. All right, yeah, I like Spider Man,
So
but that's because I like Spider Man.
mm,
But all right, I get your point. Fair enough.
yeah, I mean if it's done right, I mean you can enjoy these things. It's just about how it's done, I guess. But I get your point with Nintendo because a lot of their games do have that childish kind of vibe to them. And I think that's what doesn't appeal to me a lot of times because I'm into like super mature stuff. So um, I like a lot of graphic violence and like just mature stuff, like mature themes, complex
Yeah,
themes
me
and stuff.
too.
So
Yeah, same.
yeah. But let's get into what the people want us to talk about. So GDC 2019 happened this week, and I remember hyping up this Google announcement in our group chat. I made sure everyone was aware that the stream was happening. I posted the link in the chat and everything. And I was watching the stream like, when it happened and everything. So Google announced their new service and it's called the Google Stadia. We all thought it was going to be hardware, but I mean, they have a controller, but this is primarily a service that's going to be on multiple different hardwares. So, you can use it on PC, your laptop, your Chromebook, your tablet, your phone. So what it is basically, you get the controller, you get the service, and you can sync the controller to their server and play, any game in their library on your device, no matter what device it is. And they're pitching it as a seamless streaming service where you can pretty much see a game. Like if you're watching a YouTube video, someone's playing a game, you can just click on a button and play that game yourself right then and there. And it's obviously it's reliant on your internet connection entirely, and it doesn't use your hardware, so it doesn't matter, whether you have a PC with low specs or anything like that. It is streamed straight from their data center. They had a lot of talk about their data centers and how advanced they are and things like that. I kind of zoned out because I was doing multiple things at once. But yeah, the Google Stadia is here, is a thing. So, Ed, what was your initial reaction after hearing the announcement of the Google Stadia?
It sounds like on live 2.0. I just don't think this is going to be anything. I could be totally wrong. It could catch on for whatever reason, but I feel like it's nothing that I'm going to even concern myself with learning about. Like, I don't care about any of it. Like, I'm not going to buy into this at all. Like, to me, there's no room for another console, I guess. I don't think there's room for another big player in the gaming space. Unless you're just gonna do like more store based software, sort of like the Epic Store, the EA Play, whatever. Like I feel like that's the only space for new console people, like new companies to get into gaming. That's the only way I see it happening. But a console and controllers like that, nah. Wasn't there a Valve machine with the Valve controller or Steam controller or some bullcrap?
Yeah, there was a Steam controller, and
But there was never a Steam box, right?
they did have Steam machines, but they did it in a really weird way, like not how we were expecting it to be. Like it was like it was a fail basically. They took
Right.
it
And
out.
that's
So
how I see this happening. Like I just don't see this really catching on with anybody. Like even like look at on live, like it's rough to get into that. And like I think if Google becomes like a player like in this game, they're just gonna I feel like they're just gonna offer like app based games. Like, like Fruit Ninja or something. Like nobody wants to play mobile games on a console per se. So I don't know. I just feel like I don't care and I'm not really paying too much attention to it. Did you see their controller? It looks ridiculous.
I mean, it looks like a standard controller to me. Like it doesn't
Eh,
look amazing, but it doesn't look bad either to me. But
But it just looks very like generic, like a copy clone. Like
yeah, it's like a
you're just
generic
not standing
controller.
out. Like what? Like like okay, you can tell me about streaming 8K games to me. Like come on now, like niggas don't got the bandwidth for that shit.
Okay, so let me attempt to pitch this idea to you, and I want to see if if I can pitch it to you and make you understand why someone would like this service. So let's say you're uh you sat at your TV, right? And you see a commercial for, this big AAA blockbuster game. It's not on Xbox One. Obviously you own an Xbox One, but it's not on Xbox One, right? Let's say it's on Sony and PC, but you can play it on the Google Stadia, and all you need to do is subscribe to their service. Like there's a monthly fee like Netflix or something, and you just have to have the controller, and you can play it right there at your TV right after you see that commercial. Like you just get your controller, and you press the button, and then you're instantly able to play that game. So is that something that would appeal to you?
Nah, man, nothing. A game is not that important to me. Like if it's not playable to me, then like okay, I'm not gonna go out of my way to go try to play this game. Like it's cool. Like if God of War is not available to me, okay.
Okay.
I don't know that Google's gonna um offer me something so mind blowing that I'm gonna be like, oh, I need a Stadia. You know, I just don't. I just don't think there's room for a player in this.
Okay, so let me ask you another question, right? Because I believe that Microsoft knew about this, and I believe that Microsoft is trying to position Xbox Game Pass to do this same thing that the Stadia is trying to do. Everything that we've heard from Microsoft recently suggests this because they're trying to put Xbox Live on other platforms now. iOS, Android, Nintendo Switch. They're trying to put Xbox everywhere. So I feel like they're trying to position Games Pass to be their own Google Stadia, where you can play games through their service, on any device. So do you believe that Google is trying to do the same thing as Stadia, and do you think they'll be more successful at it?
No, I don't think they would be successful at it. I think regardless of like what anybody thinks as far as Xbox and their sales and whatnot, like let's be honest, Xbox is kind of a household name. Like people are familiar with Xbox. You can tell them Xbox, and it's a brand that they've heard before.
Mm.
And when you tell people Google Stadia, they're just thinking of a search engine. That's facts. So I just think that people might be more inclined to check out like an Xbox app on their TV than a Google Stadia app on their TV, if that is what they're doing. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's just what I think.
So you do
What?
think that Microsoft will be more successful at this streaming game service than Google?
Yeah, because I think Xbox also like they are they have their own game studio, and not only that, like they've been in this game 20 years or so, I want to say. Um and they have those relationships with those developers. Google doesn't. I don't I want to say they've never had a relationship with Bethesda or Rockstar or things like that.
Mm.
So, like if I was Bethesda, if I'm Rockstar, if I'm EA, whatever, like, and I'm talking to Google now, like Google's such a big company, you know, I don't, I don't know. I'd rather do business with the people I know, which is Xbox.
All right. Do you feel
Does that
like
make sense, or am I just weird talking shit?
no, no, you like I get your point. Xbox
Yeah,
is they've been in the game over, like 15 years or so now. So, they're a brand name, they're associated with gaming, and Google is kind of like an outsider now coming into the industry. And this leads to the next question I wanted to ask you actually. Like, so we saw that Ubisoft and Bethesda are kind of working with Google, and Stadia might even begin to have some sort of exclusives with these publishers in the future. But do you think that the gaming publishers and the hardware companies that have been in the gaming industry for for years now, decades or whatever, do you feel like they should stand together and try to push out Google? Because let's be real, Google is a threat because they are a huge tech company. They're like one of the top three tech companies out there right now. So for them to just come into the industry like this is like that is a big threat to Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. So do you feel like they should kind of unite and work together? And do you feel like there should be some sort of loyalty with game publishers and things like that to to kind of stick to what's been the norm with Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo? Or do you feel like it's fair game, and if Google offers a good deal, then they should just take it? Like, what do you think?
I'm gonna drop some bars for you, some rap battle bars. All right,
Oh, let's have them.
I'm gonna explain it this way: Google Glass, body bag. Google Plus, Body bag. Google Stadia is gonna end up in a body bag. Like, yeah, Google is this big company, but those products that I just named, like, they Google's known for failures. Not everything they touch is some, crazy good shit. Like,
Yeah.
they have failures under their belt, just like any other company. And like you said it yourself, Valve failed, and they have as far as their little console thing, um, for the most part, because we don't hear about it now. So I would say it's safe to assume that it failed. But and they have that whole ecosystem to the point where PC gamers are literally pissed because they can't get those games, from what we were talking about in the previous topic. So if I feel like if Valve can't do it, yeah, I know Google is bigger, but to me that makes no difference. So that's just how I'm gonna look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, you do raise a good point because Google are known for like introducing new products and services and then dropping them. I actually just got an email a few days ago saying that Google Plus is finally, going to be deleted on and it's on its way out. So yeah, they do launch things and then, get rid of them later on. So yeah, that is true. But seems like a lot of people, I mean, it seems 50-50. Like some people are really curious and interested in the Stadia, and others are like, okay, this is nothing new. This is on live. This is Games Pass. So I think Google ultimately has more to prove here. They need to get exclusives, I think, to really sell gamers on, because us as gamers, we're you know we're not going to be that impressed if you show us something like that. For the casual consumer, maybe they're looking at that and they're impressed because they don't have to worry about hardware. So maybe that appeals to casual people, but for us gamers, we want we want incentives. Like, why should we sign up to your service? Like, what exclusive games are you going to give us? Like, so if they're trying to grab us, the hardcore gamer, they need to show us a lot more before we're all sold on this service. So that's my thoughts on it.
I agree.
But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting year though. Did you hear? There was something. There was something about the Microsoft press conference at E3, but I can't remember what the story was. But what like while you were here, because I don't know when we're gonna have you again. What are your expectations for Microsoft at E3? Like, obviously, we know they're announcing hardware, but do you feel like there's something else that they're going to announce? Maybe something Games Pass related, like some kind of megaton.
Uh, there has to be something, but I think for the most part, like some of the stuff that we do know, um, is a lot of speculation, right? Like we don't really know. Like, hey, Xbox is coming to, Xbox Live is coming to Switch. Like, I know that's like confirmed or like it's being spoken about openly, but we haven't seen that like actually come to life. So I think even just actually seeing that come to life at a press conference, I think that's big enough to me at least to count as a megaton. Uh, Even though we kind of already know that it's possible or coming or whatever, I think seeing and just talking about it is like different. So I would give them credit for even showing stuff like that off. Um, Games, I would assume just games. Uh, but yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah. Okay. The quote I have here is from Phil Spencer, and he said, "Google went big at GDC with Stadia, but we will go bigger at E3 2019." So that right there that right there tells me that they see themselves as direct competition with the Games Pass service. So I think they're gonna go broad with Games Pass. I think they're gonna try and distribute that service on as many platforms as possible. And I think that will be their goal going forward. And if they can do that, the console war don't even matter no more. Like if they manage to successfully get users subscribed to Games Pass, on all these platforms and get people in the ecosystem, the console war no longer matters, to be honest. So it's
Would
going
you
to be
say
interesting.
if that happened, because you're picturing it or you're like pointing, I don't know, the way you're painting it, would you think that Xbox lost? Because
No,
you're talking about console wars.
no, like this is a win for them. Like if they pull this off like they want to and get, if they get a user base on all these other devices, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter if Sony's selling the most consoles, because if Xbox has the most users, the most subscribers to their service, they are winning in the end. So I think this is a smart strategy for them. And I mean, of course, they are still going to put out hardware, but what do you think about the discless Xbox One S that's coming? Do you think
Mm,
do you think
well, is
people
that
are ready?
rumored or it's real?
It's real. It's happening.
What do I think about it? Uh, I don't think too much about it. I mean, I think it's cool. Like for the people who want that, maybe it's a cheaper. Most likely going to be a cheaper option. Uh, for to get into the Xbox ecosystem. Um, yeah, I think it's
Is
cool. I mean, I
is
don't mind it.
reportedly launching on May 7th. So like, do you think people are ready to go discless now? Because I think at the start of this generation, people weren't, but I feel like people are like this generation kind of groomed people into going discless. So do you think that we're ready for discless consoles now?
I think so. I think initially we're still. I guess we had that little shock, like
Hmm.
we weren't ready for change yet. But I think now people are more open to it. Especially like they hand. I feel like for the most part, uh, the problems with being diskless have been solved as far as being able to pre-download something. I feel like that's a big thing that they fix. Now you don't have to just download the game the day it comes out. You can literally have it ready at the same time as if you were to go to GameStop at midnight or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess some people maybe still run into the problem of feeling like they're always connected online because you do need a internet connection to play your games, I guess, or maybe not play your games but access them to buy them. But I don't think that's an issue. Like if you have a console and you don't have online, that's kind of like it's just an odd pairing. Like I would assume that a lot of if you have a gaming console, you most likely have internet access.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if
Obviously.
you don't, you could just make a GoFundMe.
Yeah, that's an option. That's an option. But obviously, people are still going to be in rural type areas and stuff. So there's always going to be that concern about connection and stuff. But I do feel like the more I speak to gamers these days, they're all telling me like I don't buy discs anymore. Like I'm completely digital. Like so, I feel like we're getting there, and I feel like the discless age is coming, next generation. I feel like both companies, well, I know for sure that Microsoft is probably going to have a discless option of the next Xbox. Sony's are sometimes slower to adopt things like that, but if they're smart, they would consider having two models, a discless one. And, if the discless version is the one that sells the most, they could later on just say, we're discontinuing the one with a disc, so
The only time I do go discless though is when it's a game that I'm gonna get day one, because an older game, um, it's not gonna be cheap. You know, like I feel like it definitely does take games to be cheaper. Discless, it takes longer.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, that's pretty much it. Like, there's a lot to look forward to this year. I saw Sony actually announce that they're going to start having these monthly conferences and stuff, like streams or whatever. So I guess they're gearing up for their console announcement sometime soon.
PlayStation Direct.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's pretty much they're gonna be there direct. So they're gearing up for their console announcement. You know, E3 is coming. We just had GDC, so there's a lot to look forward to this year. I feel like the gaming landscape is changing drastically, so it's going to be cool to analyze things and see where we are, you know, a few months down the line, like even 6 months down the line from now. But for now, let's just enjoy these games we got. Division 2, and I'm about to get right back to that game after this. So, Ed, you got any final thoughts or shout outs before we get out of here?
Nah, everybody go watch us. And shout out to Carl, Rams, and Rich, and you. Thanks for having me on. And that's it. Shout out to Mills.
Definitely shout out Mills, and big shouts to all of our Patreon supporters: M. Collins, Mauricio Aguilar, Himdil, Miguel, Antonio Rogers, Sean Gority, and Fergus Mills. We appreciate you all. Look out for exclusive content coming in the future and new giveaway announcements. Shouts to everyone who listened live today. And be sure to check us out on Spotify, and we're also on the podcast app on iPhone. So yeah, we're pretty much everywhere, man. So Stitcher Radio, check us out wherever. The audio version is always available a day after this live stream, so be on the lookout for that. And
And we're coming to Pornhub soon.
I don't know about that one, but I don't know about that one, but nah. Big shouts to big shouts to the whole coalition staff. Putting in work. We actually have a Division 2 review right now on the website, so go check that out. Shouts to Anthony Nash who wrote that review. And look out for more content coming very soon. Um, but that's it for today. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back next week, hopefully with the full cast and everything. But for now, peace out.
Do we got sleepers?
Oh yeah, we got sleepers. Let me put one on right now.